Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Floramancer. I've done a little bit of work since last time, as I told you I would. And yeah, so last time we streamed was yesterday, and we were having some difficulties getting mana moving around. You can see my spaghetti of dirt trying to figure that out. I figured something out. So it was relatively challenging. Definitely. Hello, OP Dagger. So I'm gonna show you what I did, and yeah, we'll go from there. You can see also the Jaded Amaranthus has been relocated. It was over here. So many Endermen. They teleport up here when they start falling through the chute and they realize they're falling away from into the void. They teleport up here. So yay, bunch of Endermen. This mod pack is called Floramancer, OP Dagger. Alright, so I'm going to go into Creative and give you a look-see what I did down here. Now I did this in Survival. That's why there's all of these baths. That I can get rid of. Okay. So we were having a problem figuring out how to get mana from our first generator here into the mana battery that is in the middle there. And it was just kind of overlapping. Well, it was overlapping at this level. I moved it down a level. So if we click on the spark here, which has a recessive spark, so it pushes all mana that comes into it into the network. It is only connected to, can you see that? It's only connected to this pool. And then this one is only connected to the pool it's coming into, and that pool right there. That's exactly what I wanted. See? And then that one's connected to this one, and then this one is connected to that one up there. So I just had to kind of jog it down. Now this one I did have to put a spark tinkerer on. So it has a recessive and then a regular. The regular is so that this dominant, this recessive spark can push into it up to here. And then when this one switches over to a recessive spark, which it should do shortly, there it goes, it pushes what it has into it into the battery. Yay! So it does what it needs to. Now you can see I have a little bit of magic here. It's just a block of redstone that every 30 seconds or every minute, I can't remember if I put red sand or soul sand in the hourglass. I think I did red sand. So you'll watch it move in a second. Or longer. There it goes. So every minute it will change the spark tinkerer that way. And that's this here. Remember I told you I wanted to learn about force relays? Well, the first thing force relays can do is move blocks that it's bound to. So I have this force relay bound to that redstone block. And whenever this force relay moves, the redstone block moves. Now the challenge I had was I need to have it move back and forth. So I have a animated torch here from Botania. It rotates 180 degrees, which is what I have it currently programmed to do, every time it receives an hourglass pulse. Hello, good morning. Welcome, cartoon. So yeah, it pushes it one way, and then the next 30 seconds it pushes it back. So every minute the spark tinker toggles. And that's how that works. The range of this is really, really, really far. I have no idea how far, but I tested doing a redstone block all the way up here, up there, and it still worked. So I was just like, well, lovely. So it only works one block at a time. So you'd need another force relay and hook it up to another block. But this is doing what I need it to do right now. So it's filling this one up, and then when it switches, there, it just pushed it into the battery. So once it's in the battery, I can distribute it throughout my base to the areas that need mana to run. And to do that, I've had to set up a separate system. You can see here, this is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. You can see the sparks, the mana sparkle up. I wanted it to look like a fountain. So I wanted to, so the mountain is sparkling up to this one. This is just an hourglass with a minute timer over a Spark Tinkerer, and it switches between dominant and recessive. Dominant pulls stuff up out of here. Recessive pushes it out into what will, these don't have sparks yet, so it's not hooked up to those, but it is hooked up to this one. So it'll push out to that one. This one also has a Spark Tinkerer set up with an hourglass. I am completely out of gold now, so that's something we're gonna have to deal with this stream. I'm using diluted on these because they don't need to hold a whole bunch of mana. They're just like wires or pipes in any tech mod, so I don't need them to be chock full of a huge amount of mana. And so every minute it pulses and sends the mana on its way, and it goes along these routes. And you've seen these. We did these yesterday. These are with the mana pumps. The only reason I'm using these is so that I can separate the overlap of the spark range. Remember, that was our problem yesterday, was that the spark range was overlapping. And so this for sure is within the range of that pool. Oh, that pool there. But this one is not. So that the separation here is the only reason I'm using this, is to separate it. But mana pumps move mana really fast. So right now it's all filled up, and it's filling this one up currently. And this is a full-size mana pool only because that's the only mana cart that exists, is a full-size pool. So that is what we have there, and it's pushing to this one that has just a spark without an augment. And if you'll see, it's only able to connect to that one and that one. It can't connect to the one beyond it here. See, it didn't connect to that because the range is only to here, it's not to here. And then this one is connected to the one in the Jaded Amaranthus down there. And so as you can see, I have the Jaded Amaranthus set up, blah, blah, blah. Put here. It's the exact same one as over there. I just do not have it running right now because we have a decent amount of flowers at the moment, and I'm just using the blue and cyan right now. I mean, so I could turn it on. It's got upgrades so it can keep going. At this point, I only have this running, and this does not produce a ton of mana, so I need to use it for other things until I can get another mana generator going. Because I can't make another tier of this, another layer. I can't keep up with demand for flowers at this moment. But yeah, I've got it so that mana is coming in to the battery, and it's going out this way first. This is where we were headed. We need to also eventually set it up. We're going to need more mana first to go this direction, and this is going to have a decent number of things that are going to use mana going that way, so we're going to need that too. But that, I've got it figured out. I got the mana distribution figured out. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect or that long term I'm going to need to move things, but I have it flowing into the battery and flowing out. So, yay! And again, Jaded Amaranthus farm moved. So that is what I did between streams. Hello, Darkwing. So, we have a lot of things to do today. One of those is I am going to say I need to slow down. I know in previous streams I'm just like, we need to get to the end. We need to get to the end. We need to get to the end. Yeah. There's a lot to do to get to the end, and I need to stop pushing for that. I mean, yeah, it means I'll have Corporea access, but I have no other resources right now that are being automated that I really, really, really should do. Yeah, so we're gonna slow down and actually enjoy the pre end pre-dragon death part of playing the game. Yeah, so the goal today, organize my current storage setup because it's just a jumble of chests that look like a mess. Number 2, relocate the smooth stone generator that is currently broken, which is why there's cobble here. The lava flowed down and destroyed the water block in there, and so yeah. I've picked up all the mana from over here except for over here at the portal. Yeah, so relocate the stone gen that we're going to be doing for our initial orchid. Okay. The orchid will live on this in this wing over here somewhere. So we'll need to get that set up, and then we might do some experiments with dispenser farming. I saw an image of dispensers above the farm blocks, and it was just an image. So I want to test if dispensers can plant on farmland when it's 2 blocks above the farmland, because it can't be 1 block or nothing will grow, but 2 blocks. And if that's the case, I can make really large flat farms instead of like what I did in the previous playthrough, which were like strips of farm. Yeah, so that's gonna be what we're gonna try to get done today. It has been raining over and over and over again, so I'm just, yeah, tired of the rain. I would love to get a sunflower farm made so that I can automatically stop the rain. Again, I could let it keep raining because hydrangeas produce more mana when it's raining. I just don't want to deal with the rain right now. So, yeah. I'm going off of an image for the farms, but if I can make really big farms... I'm going to switch over to my creative world real quick. There are 2 people that have done automated runic altars that are small enough. This one doesn't work. I'm not sure why it doesn't work. It's exactly the setup that Jancy, granted there's an egg in there, but it's not dropping all of the items. It's the same set. It's exactly set up the way Jancy has it set up. This is Jancy's automatic runic altar build, but it's not dropping them all. So I'm just like, ugh. The other one is Riskable Builds, and his is also flawed as well. We used that one in our previous Floramancer season, is the Riskable Builds one, and it was relatively reliable, but not perfect. So we're gonna have to make our own that I like. I like the idea of, okay, the difference between Riskable Builds one, which isn't here, and Jancy's, which this one is Jancy's item selection system is not connected to the runic altar. The only thing that this has to be is this hawk has to be within range of the item dispensing, because the items just drop out of the open crates all over the floor here, and that hawk picks them up and puts them in the runic altar. And that's lovely, because that means we don't have to have it super close. We don't even have to have it visible if we don't want to. But I think what I'm going to end up doing... Hey, Nuggets! I think what I'm going to end up doing is something similar to what I did in my season 1 world. And that was... because that can be pre-corporea as well, so... Because these were flawed, and I was just so frustrated with trying them out, so... Bleh. Our orchid that we're going to hopefully reset up today, that is our number 1 goal, is going to not be this one yet. This one is a bit too resource demanding for what we have right now. I really don't think I could make all of these observers. Pistons, dispensers. I know I don't, it's too resource demanding at the moment, and the amount of mana that the Orechid would use to have this run, we don't have. So I'm going to do Ilmango's single stone generator. It just creates one piece of stone and pushes it over at a time. Small is what we need to start with because we just don't have the mana. And then we might come back into this creative world and start experimenting with the size and type of endoflame generator, massive endoflame generator. That's the next one I'd like to automate, which of course means we need a tree farm. Yep. There's been some developments. I've asked about force relays and tree farms, and it's been... I've had people say they don't work anymore, and then I've had people say they work just fine in 1.12. So we're going to have to experiment with force relays, and again, that is something that I'm learning this time around, is how to use force relays for things. So yeah, that's our fun for the day. So let's go to our regular world and see what we can get up to. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just kind of, this is going to seem, I'm going to quote unquote relax and sort out my chests a little bit that I have, so I just know what I have. And then we're going to create the smooth stone generator over here somewhere, so that we can get our Orechid relocated. Because we have no mana gen over here. I mean, technically, if we did a Rosa Arcana and turned our mob farm back on, we would have it, but we'd have to stand within proximity of it. We desperately need resources, so there's no going back anymore. We need more mana, and we need an Orechid running. So yeah, up here, this is our mess of chests right now. Mess, absolute mess. They're not even organized or sorted. This brace of torches is where I'm going to have storage drawers. This is the middle, and this is going to be eventually a Corporea index right here, eventually. So I'm going to have storage drawers in these little corner bits. There's going to be space so we can walk through here. It's not going to be a complete cube or anything. And remember, I said our storage for this playthrough is going to be decentralized. Very much like our playthrough in Season 1. I had considered doing a centralized system, but we can't even do that until we are well into Corporea in order to use these soul cores, which were broken in Season 1, and I don't know if they're fixed for Season 2. Soul cores allow you to turn a vanilla ender chest into one similar to the ender storage mod. So you'd have, you can access it by, you can put stuff in and take stuff out via hoppers and whatnot, instead of player inventory only. So that is something, if I decide I want to do it later, great. But right now, I think we're just going to have the chests collecting items, or drawers collecting items all around the world, and just have Corporea go out that far. Yeah. We need a bunch of wood, which I have over here. We need to collect some wood, make a few storage drawers, but I want to see what I have here first, so let's just figure it out. Some chests. Do I have any more? Alright, so we're just going to try to organize things. Let's start with that. Okay, so I know I have a whole one that's building blocks, so let's just move you, because this was from the Orchid Tarum, or Petrum, the Orchid Petrum. So we have some building blocks that we were getting from that, but let's go through any other building blocks and just collect building blocks. Absolute mess of things. We're gonna keep the Botania stuff in there. There's gonna be a separate chest all on its own. Okay, so we're likely going to need a second chest for this stuff. I don't believe I have room for everything in here. And it's a char set chest, isn't it? Alright. That needs to go with the Botania stuff, which was somewhere else. Alright, well, actually, let's just do all Botania stuff in this one. That I'm going to put in with gadgets. Ooh, I forgot I had a Rosa Arcana. Alright, we looked in here. Mana stuff. Mana stuff, mana stuff, mana stuff. Oh, lots of mana stuff. Okay, so we need a second chest. Great. Clearly, as you can tell, we don't have a lot of stuff. Let's take gadgets out. I'll probably need those arrows too. Tools. Armor, saddle. Sure, what's in that? Nothing. What you picked up. And we'll put that in here. I probably need those arrows. Okay. That needs to go in our valuables chest. Let's make this food-ish stuff, I think. Food and crops. Sure. And that should probably go in here. Let's just do everything out of there, because I know these things I'm going to consider valuable. This is going to consider cropped. That's probably going to be a building block. That's a gadget. Redstone should probably go in here too. Almost done. Redstone. That's a building block. Count that as a building. That's a decorative item. We have a piece of wood. And then that one's empty. We're almost done. I'm so happy with that. Not that we don't have a whole lot of stuff though. Okay. Valuables. food and growables. Lots of stuff. That is great. Okay. Now we're a bit more organized. I have some empty chests here though, don't I? That's how much non-stuff we have. Okay. Put you in here. The Botania stuff we'll leave there. Now we're more organized. Yay! Let's go breed up some cows and get some more meat going. I'm gonna put you on top of that just because. Alright. Now I know what I'm out of. How did I get feathers in my inventory? Is passive dropping on? I can't remember. Something that would be nice to get is enchanting. Enchanting would be lovely. Alright, that's decent for now. Alright, so as you can see, I did another stairway there. I'm probably going to do the same thing here just so that it matches. Me and matchy matchy. But I need to decide what is going where. Should we put leather in here too? Sure. So we have a bunch of farms that I've got slated for over here, and they all function on the same principle. So they're gonna need space so that the flowers don't overlap in each farm space. So the orchid has a huge range, and the orchid petrum has a range. You know, they all have ranges that we need to respect so that they don't overlap, because they all transform. Well, orchid tarum does not, but these other three all transform plain stone into other things. So we need to make them far enough away so that the flowers don't overlap in each other's farm area. And then we need to do a regular stone generator and cobbleworks. So I think our first, because we desperately need an orchid. What is the range of an orchid? I mean, it'd probably be easier if I just looked it up on the wiki. Orchid. Because I don't know what its vertical range is either. That is the range in which it will turn blocks, stone into ores. But what is its... We're bringing up the wiki. Alright, the orchid, 11 by 11 by 7. It's a huge range. We're not making that big of a farm. I showed you the limit of board lenses is 6 blocks before it runs out of mana, so it can only break 6 at a time. So we're only making our farm 6 wide. I mean, I suppose we could have 2 running next to each other. I bet that's possible. We may want to keep that in mind because it's going to use a lot of mana. But I'm just thinking here. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'd be 11. We would need more than 1 orchid for the way the farm is set up. Otherwise, when I created the other one, there'd be some on the outside here that wouldn't be changed. So 1 is plenty. Okay. Alrighty then. I think what we're going to do first is create the platform for the... We're going to leave this flat space for the regular stone gen and cobble works. We won't need all of this space, but that's fine. So we'll make another stairway going up here and go that direction. And then we'll be able to go this way and this way. Yes, we're going to need to get our mana over here too. We'll get that figured out in time. But first we need to make the platforms to get that going. And it's likely I'm going to need to make some more hydrangeas soon. These are probably nearing their 1 hour mark. So endo flames, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to set up the endo flames. We need to figure out their max size and whatnot in creative first so that I can make the right thing. So since we're building, we're going to be able to switch to creative. And yeah, just build up. Oh, I need to know how long this is because I think I stretched it a little further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 before it raises up 1. Let's make sure this is 23. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 22, 23. Oop, this one needs to go up. Now I feel like I need to question this. Nope, that's right. That's the same number, and now I need to go up with a half slab and then 3 stairs. And this is our palette and creative stuff. So do that. All right. And then woohoo! I just noticed it, but I like the little decorated emoticon. That's adorable. All right, up 3, and then how many did I do before I started building that platform? I think I did 3. We're not gonna have a platform at the end here. Ours is gonna just keep going. Yeah. 1, 2, 2. I'm gonna do 3 on the other side. And I have to concern myself. I think there's some spots that will spawn mobs. There we go. All right. Now, I am going to... Yep, I think this right here, I think this will end. I don't think the hall will keep going this way. I think I'm going to make the hallway wrap around at this shape here and here. So this could be our first area, and it's going to be kind of gardeny, I'm sure, because that's what the look I'm going for. So what I want to do is make a at least 11 by 11, probably gonna do 13 by 13 slab here, so that I know that is the range of the orchid if placed in the middle, and we'll go from there. 11, 12, 13. The challenge that I see, I don't think our setup in creative centers the orchid in the middle. Yeah. So we may have to just keep that in mind as we're building the other things. This first one will be the very simple setup. Crud, lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I went out way too far. 5, 6, 7. That's as far as it needs to go. I wish there was a destructor wand or an undo button with better building wands. And then we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that right? No, it's lopsided on this side. Okay. All right. That. Okay. So we're going to put our mining operation up here. And the first soam generator I'm going to make, like I said, is just going to be the single block. Because that way, we can hopefully keep up with it via mana production. Hopefully. And then our hallway will go that way and that way to make the other ones. That's the hope and the dream. All right, so we need to do our first generator. Let me bring up the image I was using. We need to make some things and then get it set up, and we're going to do that in survival, of course, because that's considered part of progression. So let's get this stuff put away. And switch back. Alright. Step 1. I need a regular piston and an observer and a powered rail. Oh boy, the gold. We might not actually have. Oh, well, glad we're setting up more. And an observer, which we actually have. And we might even have, yep, we have a regular piston. That's what we need. So we just need the redstone rail and a lever. Where did I put the building blocks? This is just so we can turn it on and off. Then I'm going to need a bucket to pick up that lava, and the rod of the seas for the water. Then we need some building blocks. The image uses glass panes just so you can see into where everything is. We don't need that. I prefer to use lots of living rock until we can do lots of other varieties of colors and whatnot. So we need to grab what we have over here. Yep. Ooh, nope, not good. What was that? Fingers in the wrong spot. That's what it was. All right. Okay. Let's get up here and grab the lava. Great. And then go back and make the powered rail. I should have a bore lens already made. Oh, I'll need to set up the redstone to trigger it, so I'm gonna need several repeaters and whatnot. Okay. Gold. Redstone. We're gonna need some of. Where is. What if it's in the Botania stuff? It is. Okay. Ooh, I have this still on. I don't want that. Okay. One piece of gold. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Alright, so we're gonna need a mana spreader and the bore lens that I made, and we're gonna need a mana pool. We're gonna need these. Might be able to use this too. We won't place those down just yet. We're gonna need the orchid, which we could turn into a floating one, so that we wouldn't need to have a piece of dirt there. I don't think I have any of the mystical flowers down here. Yeah, probably not. So, take care of that. Here I should have one pressure. I should have it over here. All right. Glimmering pasture seed, dirt, floating orchid. I see my emote with snowflakes on it. That's kind of cute. Mana. That's gonna be fun. All right, let's get this set up. Which orientation do I want this? I mean, it doesn't exactly matter. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's how far it can break blocks. So this is where we want the smooth stone to generate. And so if we go by the image, I'm going to need water here. So we'll do that for water. The piston goes right here. And the observer goes on top. Oh, it goes the other way. And this is actually where the rail sits, with a block on top of that. The lever here. Now, the lava sits right here, so we need to do block, block, like that. Again, if these were see-through, yeah. Let's make sure everything is enclosed. That should be it. Oh, I forgot that it pushes these things. Okay, we need to grab a piece of sturdy stone. Or obsidian if you have obsidian. But Quark adds sturdy stone, which is an immovable block as well. And that's what we need, an immovable block. There. While we're here, let's grab a bit of redstone. I just realized that I have a regular mana spreader there and it needs to be a pulse. It needs to be redstone controlled. Okay. So, in case you guys want to make the smooth stone generator, it is made by Ilmango. You can find it on YouTube. We're gonna disable this. Pick these guys up. Alright, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here is where we want pulse mana spreader, and you put the pool next to it. Have I been watching any series on streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus? I have. I've watched Mandalorian, and I just started watching The Queen's Gambit. That should work there. I'm certain there is a less janky method to this. An observer I would have to control because it would detect when a block shows up there and when the block gets broken, and I don't want it to double trigger the mana spreader. So this is what I had in mind. There's the bore lens. We're going to need to put some mana in there, but we should turn this back on and make sure that it doesn't push. Oh, that's one of the issues here. All right. Get that filled up a bit. And then we have to trigger this. Oh, see, that's a problem. So this one doesn't automatically keep going. If it gets forced to stop, it just stops. Well, that just means we need to put an hourglass here instead of we just need to put a clock in here. Alright, so as you can see, it's dropping XP. That's a tweak of the mod pack. No, it isn't. Never mind. That's vanilla. The tweak of the mod pack is that mobs drop XP, even though a player didn't kill them. And then, of course, it's got a bunch of coal laying about, which this is the idea, is that I would put Endoflames here to collect some of the coal to turn it into mana, and I would put Rosa Arcana here to pick up the XP that's floating everywhere as best as possible, and try not to get the diamonds into the mana pool. So that's my thought process here as far as producing some mana to keep this running, because otherwise it's just gonna run out really quickly. See, it's gonna be out really soon. And we didn't get a single bit of gold here. But plenty of coal, so that if we had a couple of Endoflames running. The Hopper Hawk that we would use for this setup, I would probably put on Podzol. That would delay its pickup cycle a little bit and give the Endoflames time to pick up if it needed coal. There's some gold. Yay. Well, that's step one. It can now run. Ooh, Ooh, emerald. And then step 2 is going to be picking up the items, and then step 3 will be fueling it. Getting mana to this pool. And that will be our initial... reestablishing our initial mining operation. Yeah, that's going to be done very soon. Alright, so... since we cannot do floating generating flowers, it's just dumb to do that, by the way, in this pack. See, we're out already. So, to turn you off, we'll be able to do that, I bet, if we set a comparator to detect when the mana pool is empty and have it not, well, I guess when the mana pool is empty, this will empty too. So it'll stop. Yeah, yes, a Bergamute is definitely needed. But yeah, when that is empty, it'll stop running. Yeah, it's only got enough for one more in it. Yep, there we go. It has stopped. Okay, so step 3, 2, wherever we're at here, wherever we're at, is we need to make a hopper hawk. And we need to get some dirt. Let's put this in our valuables. Redstone. It was all in here and I just picked it all up. Okay. Great. Now, reset. We need a Rune of Air. I do not think I have one. No. So we need the supplies to make a Rune of Air, which is a feather, carpet, string, mana steel, and mana powder. We have mana powder here. I need to make some mana steel, and I need to go get some carpet. I have shears all the way over there, so we'll go shear a sheep. We don't have any mana in that mana pool over here under the alchemy catalyst, so we're gonna need to use some that's in our band of mana. I moved it. I was like, where's the chest that I know has a pair of shears in it? Oh, yes, it's here. And we got carpet. We got string. Let's put some mana in here after I just emptied it not too long ago. Okay. There we go. So we have string, and now we just go back to our runic altar. I tear this down while we're here. There's water in it. Just not enough. Oh, it completely destroyed all the water. Well, then we'll just tear the whole thing down. We can use this hourglass in the new setup. Okay. I need living rock. I hope I have some over here. Can't wait till I move everything. Then I won't be like back and forth, back and forth. You know, while I'm going up and down these stairs, this ladder, I know I had some smooth stone. Take you and get you turned into living rock. Okay. I don't know if it has enough mana to do all of it, but it can do some of it. I guess I had some stone. I have a little bit of stone here. Let's get you broken. Picked up. Now, I have mana over there. We can make the hourglass now. Or not hourglass. Rune of Air. That's what we're on. Okay. And you know what I forgot to bring over here? Uh-huh. I heard you all yelling at me. All right. There we go. So we need a redstone root, and we have grass for that. We have a piece of redstone on us from our setup over there, and then we need petals. I haven't relocated the petal drawers yet, so let's just go over here. I know I have flowers over here, and I could just take the petals from that. But gray, light gray. There might already be water in here. Yep. So let's just grab a seed. This is our bulk setup, so we're just going to use. Okay. Yeah, we're going to want to probably make it floating because I prefer those. We're going to make some more floral fertilizer. No, we won't. Never mind. I have a jaded amaranthus now. Never mind. The last pasture seed I have crafted. Piece of dirt. I can make dirt, but I'm pretty sure I have a piece of dirt somewhere. Seriously? Dirt. Glowstone. Okay. Where would you put string? Here, perhaps? Right in there. A chest. Chest. And then do I have Podzol? Nope. Because I didn't have Silk Touch to pick it up when we had the Orchid Tarum. There. But we can make Podzol, perhaps. Which one of these makes Podzol? I think it's the Boreal. Dead Bush. Okay, from grass. We could do that. But then we still have the problem where we can't pick it up. So that'll have to come later. I mean, I could, no, I don't think I can do the infested spores either. I don't even remember where they are. Give up. Just the other problem we have, dang it, I need another mana spreader, is that it's going to want to, the generating flower is going to hook up to this one, which means it's not going to be putting in the mana pool. We're going to need another, we need another mana spreader, and I need to do that before I place the flower so that I can bind it to it, because it's probably going to want to bind to the pulse one. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna do... See, this guy has a really tiny range, so it won't pick up all of the XP orbs, and the Daffodil doesn't push XP orbs. Neither does water. So we're just kind of in a state of wellness. Let's put one here and one here. Those will be our endoflames. And we're gonna chuck some coal down right away to get those started. And bind you to that. I'm not sure what we're gonna do when we automate this, because these endoflames are going to want to constantly bind to the wrong spreader. We'll have to figure that out. And then that I think we'll put here. See how tiny the range is of that? Yeah. Very tiny. I don't know how to keep these guys from binding to this. I don't know. Anyway. So we definitely have some tweaking to do. See how much mana it needs. That's just no. One of the End of Flames already died. Well, this is clearly still going to be a setup that I'm going to have to babysit. So my mining, instead of going caving, will be here babysitting this while I pick up stuff. Which isn't bad. It's just, yeah, what it is. It's just what it is. Oh. You're not going to be picking anything up for a while, so we're going to put you... I have no idea how much time it has left. We'll put you in there. Thank you. I could make a seed, I just can't pick up the resulting... the resulting puzzle. Well, good to know. Yep, I'll sit here and let it run while doing other stuff. But I have to make sure this has mana first. A nice supply of it. So, we're back to figuring out... Okay, let's talk about successes first. Success. We have a semi-automated mining operation. I need to make sure it has mana. And it can go to town. Okay. So there's, yay, this is what we wanted. We had one over there. Now we have one over here. Okay. The next thing we need to do, I think, requires us to go to our testing world and try to figure out a endoflame setup that we want to do. No, back up. We need a tree farm. Still going to our creative world and maybe playing with force relays to see if we could figure out how to do a force relay tree farm. See if they still work. Because I think that would let us make a bigger tree farm than the laser wall that we did in season 1. I mean, we can do multiple laser walls. I mean, that's a thing. All right, yeah, let's go. Actually, I want to take a quick break fill up my coffee cup. I'm gonna take a quick break, fill up my coffee cup, and then we'll go to a creative world and try to figure out a Botania tree farm that isn't the lasers. I can do the laser wall if we need to, but we'll see. We'll play with force relays and see if those actually work. So don't go anywhere. I will be right back.